we spoke about Jimmy G briefly, and there was a report that came out that Jimmy G getting traded isn't a lock. Are you concerned about Trey Lance? So this is what Adam Schefter said. Trey Lance is further behind than people realize. Trey Lance is greener than people realize. Trey Lance is going to need more work than people realize. And they have a roster that can win now. So trading Jimmy G isn't out of the question. How do you feel about this?
I think this is
a you question, kid.
Because I think maybe the day after the 49ers loss, we got the report that Jimmy G and the 49ers talked about potential destinations to trade him. What happened between then and in the last month that made them think otherwise? Trey Lance hasn't played. Trey Lance isn't at practice. There's no training camp. So what's happened over the last few weeks? You know what happened?
This report was kind of...
You know what happened? Everyone knows the Niners are trading Jimmy G. Everyone knows they're going to trade him. So the 49ers are going to want a late first or second round pick. They're probably not getting it. So someone from the 49ers organization is leaking out stories to Adam Schefter say, hey, put this out here. We might keep Jimmy G just to drive that price up to get a high second round pick or late first. What has happened? Please tell me. If you know, please tell me. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, where Jimmy G went from they're talking to the front office about potential destinations to all of a sudden, we might keep Jimmy G. Trey Lance, even though he started 2 games, in my opinion, looked pretty damn good. All of a sudden, he's too green. He's not ready. Even though it's February and we're not playing football for another 7 months, no way he could get better in those 7 months, right? What happened in this last 3 weeks? Please inform me.
I'll tell you what happened.
I would love to know.
What happened is that the 49ers, one of the executives, went on Twitter, searched up Jimmy Garoppolo, I should say, saw a guy by the name of Joel V. Moran, at Joel V. Moran, tweet, Jimmy Garoppolo is the only quarterback the Niners have won within the last 5 years.
Tell me the other quarterback.
And he's treated like he's done that. He's being treated like he's done absolutely nothing.
Tell me the other quarterbacks started from.
I'll do you that favor. C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins.
Brian Hoyer.
All pro guys. Hall of Famers, maybe.
But the record with Jimmy G is significantly
because he's significantly better than C.J. Beathard and Brian Hoyer.
But my point is this.
What are we talking about here?
The 49ers saw that, and, I think they'll trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Let me just put it out there. But I don't think it's an easy decision because...
Oh, this is how it gets done.
Do I think Trey Lance has the talent to be a great quarterback in the NFL? Absolutely. He has special talent. But coming out of college, there was a reason why I had him ranked below Lawrence, below Zach Wilson, below Mac Jones. Higher than Fields, though. There's a reason for that. He hasn't had much playing experience. Trey Lance, this is how mine. 2018, didn't play his freshman season at North Dakota State. 2019, started 16 games, threw 28 touchdowns, 0 picks, 287 pass attempts. That's nothing. Yeah. Mac Jones in his best year at Alabama threw like 385 passes.
I would love to see Trey Lance's rushing attempts though. He probably had like over 100.
Trey Lance in North Dakota State's offense. I've said it before. I'll say it again. North Dakota State is a powerhouse in their conference. They're the Alabama of their conference. Nobody can compete. They didn't just win a national championship with Trey Lance. They won with Carson Wentz. They won with Easton Stick, who's a backup with the Chargers. I think he got cut. He's not even there anymore. It was a play action heavy offense.
Against 2019 numbers, they're stupid. He had 42 total touchdowns.
It was a play action offense. Trey Lance wasn't forced to do much. There was a lot of inaccuracies. What happens in 2020? He played one exhibition game, which he didn't play well. Then in 2021, this past season, he didn't play at all. Well, he did play, but he sat behind Jimmy G most of the year. He's played one full season in 4 years. I think that is a bit alarming. From what I saw on tape versus Seattle, he wasn't very good. He had that one deep pass to Debo, which inflated his stats a little bit, but that game, he wasn't good. Versus Arizona, wasn't good. Versus Houston, he was okay.
He played a good game.
He missed a lot of throws. He left a lot of plays on the field in that game and threw an interception that was like...
It was a bad one.
It was horrible.
It was bad.
I'm not quite sure Trey Lance is ready. I really don't. And it's not a bad thing. It's not an indictment that, they picked the wrong guy or the wrong quarterback. It's just maybe he needs one more year to sit. That's it. And I know you look at those numbers in college. I'll say it again. He played in a weak conference where his team is a powerhouse.
And put up video game numbers. He did everything you could possibly imagine.
Who's their receiver, though? You know who he is?
Who?
Christian Watson.
Coming out this year.
Yeah, and he's a goddamn beast. Watch him be a goddamn dog in the
2019,
NFL.
he was a freshman.
So we're using him to take away from Trey Lance?
I'm just saying, if you watch, I know the stats are eye-popping. And before I even knew about Trey Lance, I looked at the stats, and they blew me away as well. But when you watch the tape on Trey Lance in college, it was a lot of, this guy's open by 20 freaking yards. Oh, that was inaccurate. That was a high ball. He didn't make a lot of NFL level throws in college.
You still didn't answer my question. What happened the last 3 weeks that went from Jimmy G is getting traded and he's talking to the front office to all of a sudden now, oh no, we might keep him.
I told you, they saw my tweet.
Okay.
I'm playing. Okay. The real reason I think is that I think you made an excellent point. They probably are driving up the price on Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think teams see right through that. I think the real reason is that maybe Trey Lance wasn't 100% guaranteed the starting job next year. Jimmy Garoppolo is under contract for one more season at $20 million. That's literally cheap. That's nothing. Run it back with Jimmy G. Then he's off the books. Then I'll tell you this. If Jimmy Garoppolo leaves in free agency next season, they can get conditional draft picks for him.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I mean, they could, but they're going to get draft picks if they trade him. So,
and the thing is, what Adam Schefter said is a great point. The 49ers have a team that's ready to win now. Is second year Trey Lance, does he give you a better chance to win than Jimmy Garoppolo right now?
Yes.
I don't know if he does.
Jimmy G just had the second or third most turnover-worthy plays in the game. He was not good in the playoffs. He was good down the stretch.
He was dealing with a broken thumb, bro.
I understand that. I get it. But there's no excuse to have the second or third most turnover-worthy plays in the league. Let
me just explain it to you. The injury Garoppolo played through in the playoffs is the same one Chris Paul has right now that has him sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks. Jimmy was playing through that. Like, we got to get this man a break. Like, all he does is be a great leader. I know winning. I don't like using winning as a quarterback stat, but he's won, and his stats this year weren't bad.
But San Fran won because of him or in spite of him?
I'm not saying that I think it was a balance of both.
I would just say they won with him.
There were some games that Jimmy Garoppolo played lights out. There were some games like the Tennessee Titans game on primetime Thursday night where he folded. I agree.
And the last drive against the Rams,
but it's not like
a sore thumb.
But I'm not saying it's not like every single week you look at Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers and you're saying, oh, they're winning because in spite of him. I think there was a
game.
There was a stretch in the playoffs.
Correct.
I mean, he was playing, like I said, a broken thumb, basically.
I get it. Yes, that's hard to play
through. Strained shoulder. Like, come on, bro.
No one's questioning his toughness, though. It's just
you better not.
I'm not. It's because I'm not going out there and throwing with that thumb or shoulder. No way. But I look at Trey Lance and his skill set, even if he's not a perfect passer right away, what he brings just with his legs alone. And then as long as he's a decent passer, give me that over what Jimmy G is right now.
But if he can't hit those routine throws, easy completions,
he can
on a consistent basis.
Bro, he looked good against Houston.
He did.
I thought he was okay.
He looked good.
He was okay.
He started 3 games.
That's what I'm saying.
And
you can't really put out a verdict on 3 games.
I never said I didn't put out a verdict. I'm just saying you are measuring Trey Lance by his potential. I know.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I know Trey Lance has Pro Bowl, all pro potential. What I'm saying is that maybe he's not going to reach a year 2. Maybe it's better he sits one more year.
I saw Lamar his last season, his first
Trey
year
Lance
starting.
Is not Lamar though.
I understand that, but I saw Lamar.
Not even close.
I saw Lamar's. He was a better prospect coming out.
No, he's not.
He was. He was drafted 4th overall.
Third.
No. Sorry.
That doesn't mean he's a better prospect. That doesn't mean they whiffed on Lamar.
Now he was a better prospect. They tried him out at wide receiver, or they tried to make him a wide receiver.
Trey Lance is a better prospect off of one full season in a cupcake conference.
We're talking about when the draft was going on. They were trying to belittle him to say that he was a running back.
Bill Polian did. Yeah, Bill Polian did. But just because Lamar fell doesn't make him a worse prospect. It just means people missed on him.
I understand what your
people did miss on him, but I also would say Lance is a better prospect.
Your eyes when you watch Lamar at Louisville
come on,
and Trey
it's
Lance
Lamar.
at NDSU,
It's Lamar.
you think
No, come on.
you
Well,
think
Lamar had
Lance
more
is
of like
better?
the pilot.
We're talking
crazy
about
plays.
listen. We're talking about how the media perceived them, not about how we perceived them. We understood what Lamar.
Who
brought
cares
to
about what the
table.
media thinks? I'm talking about what y'all think.
Oh, but come on,
I think Lamar was a better prospect
amazing.
coming out of college.
Lamar was amazing. The fact that he was the fifth quarterback taken was egregious.
All I was trying to say was Lamar's first year starting when he came in for Flacco, he was not a good passer. A lot of the things went with his legs, and I think Trey Lance would easily be able to do what Lamar did those last few games. And I think he would be even better than he was, especially he's going to have 2 full seasons, 2 off seasons with Shanahan, with this offense.
Another thing that goes into it too is that Kittle's getting older, and you don't know how his body's going to hold up. Wouldn't you rather put Trey Lance in a situation where you have one of the best tight ends in the league? You have Deebo Samuel, who has just entered the prime of his career.
Ayuk.
You have Brandon Ayuk, who's an
Great
exciting
O-line.
number 2,
Yeah,
unbelievable offensive line. Excuse me. You have a great run game, regardless of who you put back there. And if it's going to be Elijah Mitchell, that's a bonus. And you have Trey Lance, who has that ability to use his legs to make plays happen. I figure if there's a time to do it, it's now. You want to give it. You want to put him in a situation where he's surrounded by a great supporting cast.
Trey Lance starts, pencil me in. Niners win the division.
Ooh, I'm not in
Pencil me
on
in.
that. Rams. Sorry, kid.
They might not even be third place or second place. with
Arizona.
Seattle. I'm not sleeping on them. Russ is coming back.
Seattle's, they're sorry.
They have mad cap space. You know that, right?
Who's going to play in Seattle, bro?
That's a question.
But they do have cap space, though.
Who's going to play?
Okay, I'm
They
just
might
saying.
trade Russ.
My final point is that I ultimately think Jimmy G gets traded. But if the 49ers keep Jimmy G and want to sit Lance for one more season, I'm not opposed to that. I would agree with the decision.
I mean, like, it's not the end of the world, but I think if you take a guy number 3 and you trade up to get him, you want to see him year 2.
Doesn't mean you got to play him right away.
I
bro.
also want to say, forget about the passing numbers, because you're right. The passing numbers, if you just look at them blindly, they look crazy. He rushed for over 1,100 yards.
Dude, he's a freak.
He had 14
I know.
touchdowns.
He had 42 total touchdowns. I understand it was a cupcakes league, but like, what more is he supposed to do?
Search up Easton Stick college stats. You're gonna see similar numbers.
But there's a reason why Easton Stick wasn't the 3rd overall pick.
yeah, because he doesn't have the talent, but the production was the exact same.
I understand that, but there's a reason why he was taken number 3 overall. His talent is insane. His upside's ridiculous.
I know. Doesn't mean he's ready now, though.
We'll see.